Well, hello, welcome to another episode of Is It Worth My Time? We're going to be talking about a movie called Walk Into the Sea, Danny Williams and the Warhol Factory by Esther Robinson. And it's a very interesting movie. Danny Williams is somebody I feel after seeing this movie, you should go like, oh, Edie and Danny but there's not much talk about Denny. He walked into the sea and probably maybe committed suicide or drowned while taking a swim, and he's kind of vanished from it. I know he's been in some books, but this will tell you a lot. There's pictures in here of him sitting on the couch with the Velvet Underground and Andy Warhol and everything. You go like, why have I never heard about him? This will help you see why you never heard about him and what you need to know about him. There's a lot of interesting people in here from the Warhol Factory. Gerard Malanga, Nat Finkelstein, Ron Nemeth, the filmmaker, Bridget Berlin, John Cale, Billy Name, Danny Fields, Paul Morrissey, Chuck Wine, and so on. And a guy called Al Maisles, I hope I pronounced it right, who was actually a movie maker who made a famous Beatles movie. And it's interesting to see, depending on who you ask in, some say, oh, he was just doing that and I was doing all of it. And some other people say, like, oh, he was the guy who did all the light. And, Ron Nemeth pulls out this piece of paper, goes like, oh, look here, this is how he set up the light. And this is what made the Velvet Underground so special. And he was actually on tour with the Velvet Underground doing the backup light stuff and with his own created machinery. Very interesting. He maybe not. It sounds more like he was a boy from Andy Warhol that fell a little bit from grace, and that might have led to the events happening in here. Everything in here is, except of a couple of movie things, a lot of photos of from Nat Finkelstein, a couple of movie parts from Ron Nemeth, but most of it is actually movies he made. He was one of the few people, if not the only one, that was allowed to use Andy Warhol's film camera. That shows you how special he was in the factory. And maybe that's why people were jealous of him. Who knows? But like I said, this is it's an art house movie, and you probably don't have it. Maybe not. A Walk Into the Sea. I think you should have it. It's very, very, very little Velvet Underground, but what's in there is fantastic. And also, John Cale remembers him very well and talks very nicely about him. And it's also very, like John Cale, if you ask him about the Velvet Underground these days, it's like, that was yesterday. I'm living today. But in here, he goes like, all these damaged people, and he goes like, no, not damaged. And he calls them incomplete people, I think. And he's very sympathetic for the people in the factory. He goes like, they were incomplete. And the factory was a part where we all got together, we're creative, and it completed us. Very, very, very good. If you're interested in the Velvet Underground more than just the music and the albums, if you want to get a feel for that whole Warhol Factory stuff, this is a must-have. Is it worth your time? Yes. Is it worth your money? Completely. What you going to buy? Nikes? This is a fantastic movie. Go get it.